what's good, Commanders fans? Day 11 of Washington Commanders training camp. So I'm just going to give a couple of injury updates, a small recap of yesterday because I was not able to react to some of the news and notes from yesterday. No fans at camp today. There will be fans tomorrow. I want to say it's Military Appreciation Day or Veterans. I want to say Military Appreciation Day. I want to check up on that. But we are very, very close to the first preseason game of the year against the Cleveland Browns. So I'm super excited for that. I can't wait. Friday night, I can't wait for that. I definitely will be watching, just like the rest of you. Any kind of football I'm excited for. Any kind of football. And I like preseason football. I'm not going to say I love preseason football, but any kind of football, I definitely will sit down and watch it all the way through. So, all right, so injury updates here. Curtis Samuel, he had leg tightness yesterday. He did tell the coaches that his leg was feeling tight, so they sat him out. And, of course, Ron Rivera is going to say that's an abundance of caution. You know, it is, we got the history with Curtis Samuel. He did a really good job, or he was healthy for the most part last year. The year before that, where he missed multiple games, they were like, is he going to play? Is he not going to play? He wouldn't practice. Then they would try to make him practice like that last day before the game, like on Thursday or Friday. They would try him out, and they would keep him. They wouldn't put him on injury reserve. They would just keep him on a roster. They would have him like practice and whatnot. Then it would get game day would come around, and he wouldn't be available. So it was very annoying that first year. But the second year, I thought he did a good job staying healthy. So we'll see. I'm not going to hit the panic button on that. Logan Thomas is starting to get concerning with the calf injury. This is his third day of missing practice, and they had an off day on Saturday. So he's been missing. He missed a couple practices so far. We know he had an ACL injury before. He is getting older. He is getting slower. So it's something to monitor and keep an eye on Logan Thomas. And I talked about signing a tight end in free agency this year. We didn't do that. We signed some free agents, but there were guys like Brandon Dillon, undrafted free agent. Then Armani Rogers got injured. We didn't draft a tight end. We didn't really sign a tight end in that first period of free agency. And I wasn't the happiest guy about it, but I wasn't like, going crazy over it, to be honest. I was upset at sometimes. Thought Zach Kuntz would have been a good draft pick in the 7th or 6th round, to be honest. Even just a 6th round tight end, to be honest with you, I would have been fine getting another development tight end. But now Armani Rogers being injured, Curtis Hodges sat out, but he's back. And then Cole Turner missed a bunch of games last year, too. So the tight end room is just very unproven, and a lot of guys missed games last year. So I am a little bit concerned about the tight end room, especially with us relying on Logan Thomas pretty heavily to be the tight end one and be featured in this offense. And I do believe in Cole Turner, too, but he was injured a lot last year. So it's definitely a group that I'm keeping my eye on. A lot of unproven guys. A lot of injury history with these guys. So it's just something to monitor with Logan Thomas. So we'll see how it shakes out. And then Emmanuel Forbes did tweak his groin the other day, but he was taking reps with the first team today. So a lot of good news. And I'll show a clip. I showed a clip in the beginning just to show how fluid he was moving. So that is good news with Emmanuel Forbes. And, Curtis Samuel had a groin injury 2 years ago, and he was in and out of practice, really on the sideline or the side field every single practice, and then they would try to play him in games, and then game day he would not suit up. So, all right, so let's get into some of the play-by-play here. Sadiq Charles, once again, did take some reps, but he did not participate on 11-on-11. That's what John Keim said. All right, so yeah, JP Finley says Manny Forbes taking part with first-team defense. Good news after that groin tweak last week. Has not seen Logan Thomas either. I talked about that earlier. Chris Russell says the number 2, and no fans were not there today, so there's not a lot of play-by-play today. Chris Russell says the number 2 and number 3 offense for the Commanders going up against mostly the number 1 defense went about as you would expect. Kendall Fuller had an easy pass breakup. Ben St. Jude's easy interception off Jake Fromm. Percy Butler interception off of Jake Fromm on the next play in coverage. So Jake Fromm, you're going to see a lot of Jake Fromm in preseason too. I think Sam Howell should play the first half, or at least the first quarter. He should play at least the first quarter. Jacoby gets the second quarter, and then Jake Fromm probably gets the third and the fourth. That's how it should shake out. The first team should definitely get reps, and Sam Howell definitely needs to get reps because we've heard nothing. The offense has been shaky. It's been up and down as you expected. You listen to the Ravens, or you look at the Ravens. Lamar Jackson threw 4 interceptions in practice the other day. So it's going to happen. A lot of teams are struggling. Dak Prescott's just throwing lollipops in the air. He's throwing interceptions. So this is the time to get out of your system. And the defense has an advantage in training camp because they just get used to the plays and they just get used to the sets and everything happening. So the defense does have an advantage at times. But this is a new offense. This is a new offensive coordinator. You have 3 different offensive linemen. Sam Cosmi, changed the positions. Wiley is new. Gates is new. Sadiq Charles and Chris Paul, they got to compete. So they need reps, they need continuity, they need to practice together, and they need to go up against another team in real game action and real speed against other people. So they need to do that before their first game against the Cardinals. Cardinals, of course, they're going to be the worst team in the league. I get it, but still, you want to be prepared and ready. You need to stomp on there. You need to smell blood and go for the kill on the Cardinals. You can't play around with the Cardinals. From the jump, they need to go up 14-0. That's what they need to do from the start. So next up it says Paul and Sadiq Charles and Chris Paul are splitting reps at starting left guard. I think that was in the one-on-one drills or some of the regular drills, not the 11-on-11. Nikki Javala says Curtis Samuel taking some team reps, so that is good news right there. Ron Rivera said Curtis Samuel got some work early on, but he started tightening up, so they shut him down. That was yesterday. Eric Bieniemy says, wake up, wake up, wake up. We're 2 periods into practice, and Eric Bieniemy wants to see some more energy. And like I said, there really wasn't much today. Zach Selby says Ron Rivera talks about De'Ami Brown said he has really stepped up his game. And because of that, the head coach feels that Brown can fill a role as a bigger receiver on the depth chart. So we'll see, man. I'm rooting for De'Ami Brown. There's only one football out there, so you got to feed Curtis, you got to feed Jahan, you got to feed Terry, of course. So he's that 4th guy on the depth chart. He's that 4th wide receiver. So is he going to get a lot of targets? I think he's going to get more targets than what he did last year. And I think he has a chance to have a good season, especially with a quarterback that can get him the football down the field, that has the arm strength and the accuracy for the most part from Sam Howell. So I think it's all on De'Ami, man. He's got to catch the football. He had a little bit of problem with some drops here and there in the preseason last year and in his rookie season, just a little bit. But he did have a nice catch on Trayvon Diggs his rookie year. Then he had a really nice game against the Titans where he had 2 touchdowns. So he certainly has the potential, and Sam Howell, his college quarterback, to get the best out of him. Jacoby Brissett did get first-team reps today. That was his first time. From Matt Paris. Matt Paris said that, and then Rivera said at some point he's going to have to work with them just so he gets to know them and they get to know him. We started talking about that the last couple of days, trying to figure out when would be a good opportunity to do it. Ron Rivera also talks about Khalid Hudson. We've noticed an improvement, and we've noticed a guy playing with confidence. So Khalid Hudson, he has the potentital for a breakout season, just like Derek Forrest did last year. He looked really good in that Cowboys game, so let's see if Khalid can carry that over into the season. Ben Standing also says team drills have begun. Emmanuel Forbes growing with the ones. And Chris Paul with the ones. And Curtis Samuel watching for now. So Curtis Samuel was watching during practice per Ben Standing. And also Chris Russell on the radio said that Emmanuel Forbes has been a blanket on everybody he's had to cover. So Emmanuel Forbes has been a shutdown corner in practice so far. So that's awesome. Awesome to hear from Emmanuel Forbes. Ron Rivera about Sadiq Charles is from John Keim. He says, not sure yet when Sadiq Charles will resume working in full team drills. Rivera said he's progressing. Charles has been working during individual drills, but not during team drills. So Sadiq Charles, he just hasn't been able to stay healthy at all during his career. So this is a big year for him. This is a big opportunity for him to start and take that guard spot, but he's got to be available. He's got to be ready. So we'll see if he's ready by week 1. All right, so I think that's about it for today. It was basically not a lot of news that came out because no fans were allowed. But Mitchell Tinsley had a good day yesterday. Had a big catch over Castro Fields, and they caught a bullet from Jacoby Brissett. And he was running with the ones, especially with Curtis Samuel not being there. And Sam Howell had a better day. He had a nice pass to Terry McLaurin. Not a bad way to start the week from Zach Selby. Offensive line had a better day. Charles Leno and Chris Paul moving well on pull blocks and an open space per Zach Selby as well. Now, about the Tress Way had some tightness as well. So they tried out a couple punters. So we need our All-Pro to be healthy, man. We need our All-Pro to be healthy, man. So, but I do think Tress Way will be ready for week 1 for sure. And then as far as the kicking competition, Michael Badgley, Joey Slye has definitely been the more consistent kicker in camp so far per Matt Paris. Michael Badgley's 50th yarder just came up short. So Michael Badgley, he missed the 50-yard kick. Joey Slye, but the thing is extra points. So extra points, he has to improve on that because Joey Slye definitely hurt us in that Giants game at home where we lost in not overtime, but we lost on Sunday Night Football. Joey Slye missed an extra point. Joey Slye missed an extra point. He missed a field goal in the last game against Dallas as well. We blew out Dallas, but still, it's just unacceptable. He missed the extra point against the Lions as well earlier in the year. That definitely would have helped. Eric Bieniemy and Ron Rivera kind of went back and forth just a little bit. Just kind of some friendly banter there. He said they were doing a 2-minute drill. EB said, why did the clock stop? And then Rivera said, because I called a timeout. So they got to get on the same page because Ron Rivera is awful with timeouts. He's awful with challenges. He's awful in the 2-minute warning as well. So that's something they definitely have to get on the same page about. I'd rather Eric Bieniemy take over those duties. I want to see what he can do because I've seen enough from Ron Rivera in 2-minute drills. And before halftime, too, Ron Rivera is really, really bad at that. He's too slow at throwing the challenge flag as well. And he's really bad at making a decision on challenges as well, or when to throw the challenge flag. All right, so that's about it for today. And they did sign a corner, Jace Whitaker, who played with the Cardinals. I don't know too much about him. Got to do my research on him. He probably won't make the roster, but they probably signed him just because, you know, the groin tweak for Emmanuel Forbes, just to have some more bodies in camp to give these guys a rest and give some other guys some reps in these preseason games. So, all right, you guys let me know what you guys think about day 11, Health Commanders. Peace.